Hello, hello, it's Marci Javril, and I'm going to teach you all about how tickling using a dry skin brush can actually really improve your overall health. It's an amazing thing to do. So first I want to show you very quickly, before I turn on the glaring lights, the lymphatic drainage pathways. The pathways of the lymph drainage, which is what we're trying to do with dry skin brushing, they all lead towards the armpits and the groin. There's no lymph nodes on the back. So everything we're going to do is focused on the bringing everything to the front of the body. So once again, we're going to do dry skin brushing today. If you don't have a brush, that's okay. There's a lot of other things you can use. You can use a stiff washcloth. Just take a washcloth that was laundered, and instead of putting it in the dryer, just leave it out and it'll be a little bit stiff. And that'll be tickly enough. Or you could use something like this. It's called a jute. It's made out of jute or hemp. And that's got a little bit of roughness to it. Let's see, what else do I have here? I have a little kind of nail skin brush, and that one would be good for your face actually because it's small enough. And then you probably, everybody have seen these, and I hope you've got one. It's a shower brush, right? And it's got a nice long handle. Well, that's because you want to be able to get at your back. And unfortunately, this one doesn't do that very well, but I love this one because it's got a little bit of copper in there. It was a gift from one of my clients. It's from Germany. It's kind of special. But in general, you can get one of these pretty cheaply, yeah? And then what you want to be doing is tickling and prickling yourself, because what do we know about the skin layers? The skin layers, if you prickle and tickle the hair follicles, they actually mobilize the skin layers away from each other, and that helps to move the fluid. So what's going to move? Well, your body is a body of water, yeah, 60 to 80%, and that water travels in the fascia layers, in between the skin layers. And if your lymph is healthy, it's going to be a little bit more like olive oil. Yeah. So you're going to be able to move that pretty easily with a skin brush. But if your lymph is a little more coagulated, it'll be more like mayonnaise. And people who have asthma or congestion in the chest will feel like they're kind of moving through the muck. And if it's super congested, it might be more like nut butter. Ooh, so it's not going to mobilize as easily. That should not stop you from doing dry skin brushing. Now, what's the difference between dry and wet? I use this in the shower and I scrub myself all the time. Well, that's great. That's for exfoliation. So there's two things you can do with your dry skin brush. You can wet it down in the shower and scrub yourself all over, and that will get rid of dead skin cells. But if instead you use it before your shower while your skin is dry, it will mobilize that fluid I'm talking about between the layers. Yeah? And that's what you want to definitely do. So, where do we start? Well, just remember that the torso is where everything is draining to. So everything is draining to the armpits and to the groin. And all of this area then needs to be mobilized in order for the arms and the legs to drain towards the torso. And the head also all has to come down towards the torso. So I hope that gardener next door isn't bothering us too much. Anyway, so you want to mobilize the lymph nodes of the main stations right here next to the torso. But I always like to start with the belly, the belly, the belly, the belly, because that's where I call it the garbage disposal switch. It's where all the solid waste material has to land, yeah? So it's the final exit to everything in the body. Let's start with, I've got this brush. It's really cool. It's got copper in it, and it's from Germany, and it was a gift. And I really like it. It's very tingly and pringly. Now remember, we're going to be doing super, super soft, right? So you just want to be going so gently to tickle and prickle, yeah? And if you are a fire dancer, you probably don't have any hair on your arms anymore. I still do, a little bit. And you should feel the hairs kind of standing up as you do this. Now you'll notice that I'm using very short strokes. Yes, short, feathery, light strokes. And it actually doesn't matter a whole lot about your direction, because lymphatic fluid flows through the tissue in one direction. It kind of goes through its little capillary area and then it closes off like a valve, so it can't go backwards. What you can do is, if you've got lymph flowing and you block it by putting in a tight bra or a tight sock or something, then it's not going to flow. So you can block the flow of lymph, but you actually can't make it go backwards. So pretty much anywhere you tickle is going to help the skin mobilize the fluid. And why? Because the lymphatic fluid is responsible for taking all the toxins out of your body. So how can you detox your body? Just by tickling it all over. So starting on the belly, I like to go in a big circle, big circle. Ah. So depending on which direction you're looking at, you should be going up on the right, across the center, and down on the left. So up on the right, across the center, down on the left, and back around. So imagining that you are a grandfather clock, and the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Yeah, going around, 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 around. And once you do that, then you're going to start on the personal areas. And that's why I've got some shorts on. But if you're on your own, you should be doing this nude. Where do we have to go? Right where the hair is. The hair follicles of the groin and the armpits are there because the lymph nodes are there. And so it's a very personal area. I recommend that you be gentle with yourself. So you can open your legs like this and do what I call high five the inner thigh. High five the inner thigh. High five the inner thigh. And that gets things mobilized right there at the inguinal group. So then you can start including around this side too. Well, guess what? Everything goes from the back to the front. So if I want to do that, that means I've got to maybe take my leg and go across and go from the back to the front, from the back to the front, from the back to the front, from the back to the front. Yeah? So it's kind of like a little hula hoop around the leg. From the back to the front and from the back to the front. Yeah? And little short strokes that will make your hair feel like it's standing on end. Yep. And once you've cleared the thigh, then you can start on the leg. On the leg. And so, again, just head towards the back of the leg and then to the top. All right, so you're going to do some tiny little strokes, little feathering strokes, rhythmic, tickling strokes all the way around. I have a bruise from my rope dart practice. Ha ha ha. Fortunately, I haven't burned any of my hair. Stroke, 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 tiny little strokes. Now you're wondering, oh, I have a sheet on my couch because every time you do this, little hairs, little epithelial cells are exiting. And if you were in a spa that wasn't your own house, you would not be wanting to leave your stuff there. And in fact, if you're going to be in your own house, you probably don't want to have debris. So put a big sheet down or a towel down. Now we're at the toes. So let's go all the way to the tops of the toes and do that gentle little feathering thing. And now that I've activated the entire leg, now this is the one that most people do. But I have to tell you, it's really worth the trip to start the exit, add more territory, and now we're going to go all the way from the tips to the torso. From the tips to the torso. From the tips to this torso. All the way. Oh, yeah, that's making my hair stand up. And then the buttocks, this is all coming from back here to the front. From the back to the front. From the back to the front. Back to the front. Everything comes to the groin. So that's a very personal area. That's why you need to be doing this by yourself, or for your partner. Okay, so this area is super, super important to get the fluid movement going, anything going on in the leg. So I did the leg. Make sure you do both legs. I'm not going to do the other leg for you, but I'll show you the arms now. So let's see. I left out the chest, didn't I? So in a few days, I'm going to be talking about breast massage and self-care. So we'll talk more about the chest for that one too. But in the meantime, take your brush and move it all the way around towards the back and bring it towards the front. From the back to the front. From the back to the front. From the back to the front. And you can go right through the breast material. Go right through the breast material. And if you're a guy, go right over that area, your pecs, yeah? All the way through, come all the way around from the back to the front, from the back to the front. And then when you get here in the center, you can just do little circles, gentle circles. Of course, you should be nude. So if you're nude, this is going to be starting to give a histamine reaction. You'll see the redness starting to come up. So then again, the back, everything from the back to the front. So if you have a handle, that's good because then you can go from the back to the front, from the back to the front. Make sure you're getting the entire back, from the back to the front or to the armpit. And then everything right here by the shoulder blade, this is coming up towards the collarbone, right there. Yeah. So then the arm is ready because you've activated this whole area. So I'm going to do this arm because it's my right hand, it's easier. So activate the underarm with gentle circles, little feathering, and now start to add territory, add until you've got all the way up to the elbow. Tickle, tickle, prickle, prickle. Ooh, it feels so tingly. Little tiny feathering strokes, feather, 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 all the way, and make sure you do the backs of the hands. That actually feels fantastic. And remember, this is light. You can do the really scrubby stuff once you do the light stuff. You get in the shower, you put on some soap, and you can use the same brush wet and exfoliate. But right now, we just want to stimulate the skin. Just make those little prickly skin hairs stand up because that's going to move the fluid. Let's move fluid. So imagining, let's say you had swelling in your leg, and then you're going to move it up towards from the tips to the torso. And now we've activated the whole arm from the exit of the arm, adding territory, adding territory. So now we can do the whole arm. Whee! Again, very gentle, very light, very tickly, very prickly. Make sure you do. Now the arm doesn't have any special pathways. It just all goes to the armpit. Real easy. Whereas in the groin, it's got a little more complicated because it has to come around to the front. Yeah. So then what about the face? Well, the face, that's why if you have a tiny brush, it's best for the face. And again, you're going to use a very gentle, split the face down the center. If you've done my lymphatic melting touch method for the face, then you know, split down the center and everything drains towards the ears and down the side of the neck. So that's what you'll be doing, very gently towards the ears, gentle, gentle, and quick little short flicking motions. And you can feel that start to tone your skin. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So I've only done half my body. Darn. I did the left leg and the left arm and the right face. Oh boy, I'm going to have to check out to see what the difference is at the end of this session. How about you? Did you try any of this? I hope so. So the point of it is that you can do your own healing work so easily with really simple tools. And that's why I'm here to encourage self-care is first. Feel better faster, stay stronger longer. I'm Marci Javril. I'm here to help you put more healing habits into your life. Make them easy, make them fun, make them a way that you can weave them into your life on a daily basis. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you really quickly. How you can do your leg on the couch. Oh yeah. Just lean back and put your leg up. And then you can reach the whole thing. Yeah? And that makes it easy. So make it easy, make it fun, and make yourself feel better all the time. Thank you. It's Marci Javril, and Yoga of Touch is my website. Please come, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you again soon. Take care of yourself.